Hi, welcome to this prenatal yoga session for heartburn and acid reflux. So today I want to show you a few poses that are helpful for heartburn and that are also adjusted and safe to practice during any moment of your pregnancy, but also helpful for heartburn in general, so even when you're not pregnant. And then in addition, I'm also going to show you a few modifications of poses that you definitely want to avoid. So before giving a bit more general explanation, I already like to put you in a nicely supported restorative pose called Supta Virasana or reclined heron pose, which for me is one of the best poses for digestive issues in general, but also acid reflux in particular. So for this, you need to set up at least 2 blocks and a bolster or a few pillows, and then depending on the tightness of the hips and the thighs, you might need an extra pillow or two. And ideally, you just want to have a 45-degree angle so your head is above your heart. So once you're set up, you want to start sitting in between your legs. So you want to have your buttocks on the earth, and then you can just shivel to be comfortable, spreading the sitting bones into the earth. Your knees are a bit together and your feet are a little bit wider. Placing the base of the spine in front of the bolster, and then very carefully you want to start layering down. So you start on your hands, and then gently you want to start laying on your back, maybe lifting the tailbone, creating a bit space in the spine. And then you want to be comfortable on the bolster. So here, if you feel it's too tight in the hips, definitely add another pillow. And then if this posture is really not comfortable, you can do either a reclined butterfly or you can just stretch out your legs. So you can still create a nice stretch and lift for the front body, which can counteract the effects of heartburn. Now, once you're in a comfortable position, you can either keep your hands on your belly or you can put them beside your body. And then all that is left to do is gently close your eyes and focus on a nice deep breath. Breathing in, down to the belly, letting the belly rise, and a nice exhale, letting your belly relax, and let the pose work its magic. And you can try to stay here for at least a minute, but you can easily stay up till 5 or 10 minutes. And then of course, if it becomes uncomfortable, you can always come out a bit earlier. Now, while we are resting here, I just want to give a bit of explanation on why we tend to suffer from heartburn during pregnancy. So it mainly has to do with the increase of hormones, which are responsible to relax your muscles in the body, as we need to make space for baby. Now, this can also weaken your sphincter muscle, which is normally responsible to prevent the stomach acid and the food to go back to your esophagus, which is actually the tube that directs your food from your throat to your stomach. Now, as a result, this sphincter muscle might close improperly, and then the acid can come back up, which result in this unpleasant burning sensation. And then in addition, especially during the later stages of pregnancy, as your baby is growing and your uterus is expanding, it also puts pressure on your stomach, which again can lead for acid to escape from your stomach up into that tube. Now, yoga posture wise, what you can do is favoring those poses that open our chest area and lift our front body so the acid goes back down, and also all the poses that create space for your uterus so you put less pressure on your stomach. And then in terms of poses to avoid, you should definitely be careful with all poses that are inverting and where your head goes lower than your heart, such as like the standing forward fold or downward dog, because this will only stimulate the acid to move up. But we'll talk a bit more about this later. For now, just let us take a few more deep breaths into this posture. So taking a nice deep inhale down into the belly, and a long exhale, letting your belly relax. And breathing here as we ease down. Let's do one more deep breath here. And with the next inhale, you can stretch your arms overhead. Again, creating more space in the chest, stretching it out. And then very carefully, you want to find support on your forearms, chin to chest, coming on top of your hands, gently walking up, coming back to seated. And then you want to stretch out your legs, maybe massaging the kneecaps, wiggling the feet, whatever feels nice. Just releasing those legs for a moment. And then we're gonna come come to a cross-legged seated position. And then here, if your hips are a bit tight, you can sit on top of a bolster or a block to elevate the hips. And then from there, we're going to continue to create space. So taking a deep inhale, arms flow overhead, stretching and flipping the palms up. And then with the exhale, we're going to float to the left side. Inhale to center, exhale opposite side. And just flowing with the breath, inhale to center, exhale left, inhale center, exhale right. One more time, inhale center, exhale to the left. And then we're going to hold here. You can lower down your arm, and we're just creating space in the right side of the body, creating space for the belly, again to release any pressure off that stomach. Then you can look up. If it bothers your neck, you can look down, whatever feels nice. Inhale to center, and then exhale, coming to the opposite side, creating space into the left side now, in between the ribs. Breathing deeply here. And then coming back to center. Now we can once more lifting the arms overhead, and then exhale, you want to interlace the hands behind your chest, and again, creating more space into the front body, lifting the chin up, making that nice stretch. Deeply breathing here. And releasing. And then you want to make your way carefully to standing. And then you want to make sure to have either a chair or a roll nearby. And then you place your hands either on the chair or against the wall, and you just step back. So you want to find enough space, having the legs wide enough so you have space for belly. And then you just want to stretch the hips up and back, just like you do in a regular downward dog. The only difference is here, we're making sure that our head is higher than our heart. And then we're just pedaling out the legs. And give a nice stretch in the back of the legs, nice wiggle through the hips. And then fully stretching here. Creating the beautiful length again along the spine. Deeply breathing here. Chest is nice and open, rotating the shoulders outward. You can press to the hands either on the chair or against the wall. And then this modification can help you in all other inversions or forward folds. Like for example, when you do a regular forward fold, you can use the support of a chair, or you can also work with 2 blocks. The same thing when you're doing a wild-legged forward fold, just keep the head lifted, keep the heart lifted. And also when you're doing more seated forward folds, especially those you can go really deep, again, just use a few pillows to keep your heart and head elevated. So let's do a few more breaths here in this modified downward dog. Sometimes we also call the straight ankle pose. Deep inhalation, long exhalation, and then you can step out and work your way back to the front of the mat for a few more standing poses. So I'm going to step my right foot back now for warrior 1, and then you want to create space, especially if you have a bigger belly like me. You want to maybe swivel the legs a bit more wider apart to keep easier balance. And then we're going to inhale, lifting the hands overhead if this is available, because this will give an extra stretch for the belly, for the chest. And then you're going to sink as deep as you feel comfortable, making sure your knee is not going further than your ankle. And then you want to firmly press into the back foot. So keeping the hips nice and square, and then deeply breathing here. And then taking one more breath. Stepping back, shaking out the legs. And changing sides, so stepping the left leg back. Back leg is 45, front leg is 90. Again, I'm creating space, keeping either the hands in the hips or inhaling again, getting that extra stretch. You can gaze up if it doesn't bother your neck. Keep the hips square, press into the back foot. And sink as deep as you feel comfortable on this side. At the same time, we're opening the chest, creating space for belly, but also getting a nice stretch into that back hip, strengthening the legs, deeply breathing here. And then stepping out, shaking out the legs, and then just doing a few hip circles to release the hips, circling from one side, and then to the opposite side. And then from there, we're going to work our way again onto the earth. Even just kneeling down, sitting on my heels. And then we're going to do just one last pose. We're going to do One more nice chest opener. So two options. If your knees are sensible, you can stay just on top of the knees, keeping the hips leveled and just lean back in this pose. Or you can sit down and then you can walk your hands back, and then you want to start opening to the chest and then looking up, releasing the shoulders away from the ears. And then either staying here, breathing deeply, or if you want to go deeper, you can start lifting your buttocks all the way up. And then you get a deeper stretch, not alone in the chest and the belly, but also for the front part of the thighs. You're strengthening at the same time the shoulders, breathing into that beautiful space. Lifting as high as you feel comfortable, gently coming back to seated. And then it's time, as always, for final relaxation. So here we're already in the good position, because in pregnancy we tend to lay on the left side. Not only good for the blood flow, but definitely also good for the stomach, that side laying. Just avoid laying on the right side. So always the left side, keep your hand on your belly. And then just relax, focusing on the body, focusing on the breath, connecting with baby. And then I'm going to leave you here. I hope you enjoy the class, and this will help a bit in easing your heartburn. And then if you want some more details, you just want to read about the general things and maybe also get a few dietary tips, you can follow the link below to my blog article. And if you're new to prenatal yoga and you want to get some more information, also have a look at my free prenatal yoga guide. For now, enjoy this final relaxation as long as you like. I'm thanking you. Namaste.